for those of you watching and tuning in as well. So Levi and I, we met. It was almost, well, it was December. No, it wasn't December. It was like November, October, November.
I think it was cold for sure.
It was cold. I think was it 2018?
I think so. That seems crazy. I think I had just dropped out of school. So whenever that was.
Yeah, it was at the Neon Dreams concert here in Calgary. And it was actually really, really dope because I remember thinking like, okay, I really wanted to see Neon Dreams because I'm a huge fan of them. Yeah. I have been for several years. Well, not several years, a few years. Yep. I remember like they put out their song Marching Bands, and then I listened to it on the radio and I was like, this is so cool. I love it. I love the beat. I love the lyrics. I loved it all. So I was like, I threw it up on my Instagram. Literally, it's a blue post and it says Ocean Avenue with like a sign on it. And then I remember posting it up and it wasn't, but a day later, Neon Dreams liked it. And then they started following me. And I was like, this is so dope.
Yeah, they're the best. And it's really cool to see people like them, winning and continue. That song came out a while ago now, but they just continue to put out music that's evolving and just keeps getting better and better. And as an artist, like underneath of them, I'm on their independent label they started, Dreaming Out Loud. And for me, especially just kind of coming into the game and getting to listen and learn from them, it's like the best possible scenario, at least for me, just how I work, because not only are they such good dudes, and I mean that, just really genuinely, they're also like, they take what they do very seriously and they take what I do very seriously. And I'm able to kind of talk to them about anything. And they work on, they work on the music with me too, which has been a huge blessing. Adrian, he's, I guess, quote unquote, the drummer of the band, but he's not like, he does everything, he'll jump in the session with me and within 10 seconds, he knows the guitar loop, and then he goes, plays down the bass, and then goes and like helps with drums,
takes over, really. He takes over the show.
It's really something. So
that's kind of like the nice thing though, is because I've been friends with them on Instagram and we're close friends. And so I get to kind of see behind the scenes a little bit. I get to see the music that they're putting out, and I actually get to see you growing up with them and everything too. And I'm like, this is so dope. And then, cause ever since we met at their little concert, which was great because it was so small and intimate. If you were at a bigger venue, we probably wouldn't have met at all.
Totally.
And so it was just like, it was so awesome to meet everyone and see you face to face and get to meet the guys face to face. Everyone's so humble, so awesome. And I was like, hey, this is so great. And at that time I was working at another radio station, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll get those guys on and be able to interview them. But it didn't happen. Yeah. So anyway, that's my next step, is getting them on. But I really
stuck with me.
Yeah, no, but you know what? I'm actually really glad that I did get you first anyway, because they've been kind of helping you kind of mold yourself into the musician that you are today. And it's kudos to them, but I really wanted to have you on because you have been working literally your ass off over the past couple of years, and I've been seeing that. Like, all you have to do is look on someone's Instagram and kind of look at their feed, and then you see each little step as they're growing, and that's like the coolest thing. And so like, that's what I see. And then not just that, but then your mom messages me.
Oh yeah, she's hilarious. She's literally like my manager. She's gotten me a lot of gigs actually, just from like, sometimes she'll just message me and I started out doing comedy. I started out rapping. I loved it just because I was really into poetry, and I felt the two went hand in hand. Anyways, she got me a gig doing comedy shows, and so people would go up and my buddy James Mullinger, who was doing all of these like shows around my city because he had just moved here, who would go on to shoot. He does a magazine, the Maritime Edit now, and he's just got he's got a fantastic career. But But at the time, I was going in there just based off of my mom being like, hey, I got a gig for you. Go to this comedy show. I was like, would that be a little bit weird if I do this at a comedy show? So I go there.
Yeah.
They don't have a sound system at all.
Oh no.
Which James didn't know. I didn't know. It was a new club. The guy, is such a great dude. He was just kind of trying to get it started.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, like, what am I supposed to do? I have music I need to play. And he was like, hey, man, I don't know. So I told everybody it was slam poetry, and I cut out the choruses and just like said the verses and put more emphasis on stuff. And I have never sold more CDs than that night, which was hilarious.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So she's
that's kind of, like you were saying, because I was watching your other interview there the other day, and then you guys were talking about how like sometimes there will be artists and they're doing their concerts, and then all of a sudden they forget the lyrics. Then they end up doing like freestyle.
Yeah, I've done that. There's been so many times where I've forgotten verses and stuff, because I think sometimes you get a little cocky with it and you think that you know every song and like you'll practice it, but you don't actually. I never go back and read the lyrics. So I'll, if two things are rhyming, I'll mess them up and then it sets you off. And next thing you know, you're like, verse 2 is a completely new verse that you just wrote on stage, and everybody's like, oh, that's interesting.
Oh, you're like, oh, this is the unreleased version.
Yeah, this was the first demo.
That's all you just say. You just like, well, now you guys get to know what happened behind the scenes before I actually released it.
that's way back anyway, so everybody was just like, I have no idea who this kid is. I've never heard this song, so they had no idea. I could have just made up.
Oh, it's just Levi, and then I pushed him. Whatever.
Yeah.
Probably. Who knows? But yeah, that's so cool, because I think that's one really important thing as an artist and as a performer is being able to laugh at yourself, for one.
Oh yeah.
And just being able to wing it when you have to, and but really just have fun with it too, because otherwise, if you're too stressed over it, then what's the use, right? Like, why?
Yeah, there's definitely a balance there. Like, in one sense, you have to be very serious about it, because it is like I'm not going to go and say it's a hard job, because I know there's people doing very difficult jobs. But mentally, just if you're touring, a big thing I learned, like, it's not all what everybody thinks it is. Like, a lot of the time you're with your boys in a van driving for, like, I mean, me and Adrian have done trips where we drive like 36 hours in a couple days just straight. And then you unload the gear, and it's just it's a definitely an interesting job. Oh, something just cut out. Not sure what. Hello. Oh, okay. I've just been informed that the power went out, but that's okay because you got me now. Yeah. So that's kind of what the touring life is like. It's a really great thing, and it's kind of a double-edged sword. So on one end, you want to keep things, semi-serious because of the work, but you have to have a sense of humor because of that. Like, you're doing endless amount of driving to get to the next drive. And a lot of the times before I met Neon, like, just obviously getting paid $50 for a show that you spent $60 getting there, you kind of have to be able to joke about it, because those times are kind of a mess. And as you can see, it hasn't paid off monetarily in a crazy way yet. That's why I am speaking to you with tape around my headphones. But man, there's like some things just like that. I got my headphones like this just because you get that sentimental value attached to it. I got these from a homie of mine, and they just never seem to fail. It's like that good shirt that you had since high school, that you're like, this shirt is actually gross, but I'm gonna keep it going because you know, I couldn't bring myself to throw it out. So yeah, I started out rapping for a while, you know, and I still, it's interesting because the way that I have created kind of, I don't want to say I created my own genre because I know kind of everybody says that, but that's kind of what I feel like a lot of musicians are trying to do nowadays, especially people that started out in hip hop, is like, you can really do whatever you want to do. I think people are starting to kind of take reins of that. You know, if you listen to some of the new stuff, I know the song's a little bit old, but Old Town Road by Lil Nas X, like he's blending genres and it sounds amazing. Post Malone's been blending genres recently a lot. Like he starts out with like sort of a hip hop-esque sound, and I know at first he got a little bit of hate, but now he's making like super hip hop sounding tracks. He's making a pop song on the same record, and then he has like these kind of indie tracks. I guess you would say Circles has kind of that indie sound. I would say that. I might be wrong. That's just kind of what my ear catches. So you can really do whatever you want now. And if you get the chance to listen to it, my last single, Let It Go, and the video is up on YouTube. Just type in Let It Go, Levi Rowan, and you can hear what I'm trying to do in that track. It's blending. Like I want to have the hip hop flows that I grew up doing rather, and then I try to implement like I really love singing in falsetto now. I was really uncomfortable to sing at first. I would sing in coffee houses and stuff when I was a kid, but I don't know. It's a weird thing. Like you know, what an odd job to get up in front of a bunch of people and start making sounds with your face, and then everybody kind of judges whether or not they like it. So as you can imagine, when you start out, it's a little nerve-wracking, and I was a little nervous to start. But there's something about rapping to me is it became so comfortable with the flow patterns, and I really got more obsessed with, I get really more obsessed with just figuring out flow patterns, and I became more comfortable at singing through, you know, vocal coaching and just doing it all the time. And then eventually you're able to bring back those old patterns once you're comfortable enough. You're like, oh yeah, I didn't even realize that in my back pocket I had all these rap flows that I became accustomed to. Now I can blend it in. So, you know, anybody that's an aspiring artist as well, you know, I know aspiring, if you're this and that, like I really know, but my thing is, don't limit yourself and box yourself into one area, because there's a good chance that you're going to be able to, hey, there she is.
Literally, my power went out for like 2 seconds, and I was like, oh, damn. Okay.
That's hilarious. Yeah, no.
This is like it literally flickered, and I was like, oh, okay. I did, like, even Jesse at the radio station, he's like, it's really windy here in Lethbridge. Lethbridge, I don't even know if you know where it is from Calgary, but it's a couple of hours away. But anyway, and so I was like, oh, okay, whatever, because it wasn't windy here yet. But then the wind just picked up right as we kind of went on. But anyway,
I just kept it going. I just ran with it.
So I told I messaged you. I'm like, just keep going, going, because you have to.
I just had that thought, and it's interesting. Like, I just find it really cool how there's kind of a wave of artists now that are switch. Like I was using Post Malone as an example. Like he goes on a hip hop track, and then on the same album he has a pop song, and then on the same album he has kind of like the indie, like Circles.
I love that.
Yeah, like I love that, and I think, yeah, you can do that now, and so just to, you know, for anybody that's making music, I think it's time for people to just kind of be like creating their own genres and stuff, and I don't think people should let themselves be boxed into just having one sound. Like you can be inspired by hip hop and bring those flows into your new song, and just makes it that much better. Anyways,
I love it. I love like the mashups, and I love like how like even collaborations of like hip hop and country and rock.
Well, yeah, exactly. Lil Nas X, when he did that, everybody was like, "This is crazy." I was like, "Not really, man. Like this is how things need to progress in order for music to just become not one thing, you know?
Exactly. Well, you have to grow with it too. Like, you know, not a lot of people know, but, you know, ideally music, it came from classical music. And then all the different genres kind of popped up using, like, if you listen to any song, there's classical music in it. Like, it doesn't matter, you know, it's all basic. So it's kind of really cool to listen to classical and be like, oh, I heard this in another song, because it's all over the place. So it's super cool. And then just being able to have an imagination to mix things up, I think is like...
Yeah, that's the most fun part too, being able to listen to a beat and be like, you know, we could take it in a million different directions, and now we actually can. We don't have to stick to the same, you know, formula.
Right, exactly. So let's talk about your music, because I don't know if I'll pop out again or what's going to happen.
That's okay.
Because I would, you know, want to stick also with, you know, our 40 minutes or so. But But yeah, like, how did you, you know, really get into music? Like, what really made you be like, you know, I want to do this? Was there like a moment where you're like, oh, I saw someone perform and I want to do that? Or was it just like you heard it, a music video, or, you know what I mean? Like, what was like your aha moment?
It was a couple of things. Like, a big thing that got me really into hip hop is my sister had a boyfriend at the time, and I remember going to the mall with her, and she was like, I really need this Kanye CD. Like, I really need it because that's his favorite artist and whatever. And I was like, oh, Kanye, who's that? And this was when I think College Dropout. It was either College Dropout or it was Graduation. I think it might have been Graduation. And I'm 22 now, so for me, I don't remember exactly when it came out, but I was still kind of a young kid, and I heard that record, and I was just like, wow, this is, you know, this dude is just so talented. He's still one of my favorite artists. You know, everything else aside, I know he's definitely got a lot of stuff going on, but the music is undeniably good for me. And I heard that, and I was really inspired by it. And also, my brother's in a band called Motherhood out of Fredericton, New Brunswick, who've been getting a lot of recognition recently. But when I was younger, my parents took me to a couple of their shows, and I just remember seeing my brother. He plays drums, and I was just looking at him, because you see your family kind of like in and out of your house. You know, he, like, you know, slaps you in the face once when you're playing a video game. You know, that's kind of the vibe when you're growing up. And then I saw him on stage, and first of all, he looked like a superhero to me, because I just thought it was so crazy that it's like, it literally is like Superman. You see him with the glasses, and then he goes and changes, and next thing you know, he's Superman. I saw him up there. I was like, that's insane. And you could feel the energy exchange between the audience and the band, and I was a part of it. So I loved that aspect of it, and then also the respect that people that I knew gave him when he was off stage, and he was like pouring sweat because he really goes in. And it's just such a cool thing to see, and I was like, I want to do that now.
Wow. So it's just your brother. That's so cool, because I've seen you, where did I see your brother? Maybe some posts or something that you probably put up, or some stories or whatever. And it's just like, I think it's really cool to see how families can, you know, they have that talent in the family, and then it's just like one person has it, but really everyone sort of has it.
Yeah, my family's pretty crazy like that. Like, that's my oldest brother, and then the other brother that's 3 years older than me is a pianist, and he creates all of his own pieces, and they're really like insane. And then my sister was in multiple bands, and she's one of the, honestly, she doesn't really release a whole lot of music, but I've written a lot of songs with her just because her like chorus game is insane. She can write a chorus that it's like, she doesn't have to say a lot, and yet it just seems like she sat down for like a month working on it, and it just comes out. So hopefully she'll get something popping here soon, because I see that. And that's
she just wants to do like songwriting. Is that what she kind of wants to do, or?
I don't even know if she really wants to do any of it. You know, some people are just like gifted, and then they're just like, whatever. Yeah. I respect it. She's making a lot of money doing her job. So She's a nurse.
Oh, yeah, she's helping out then in major ways right now. So, yeah. Oh, good for her. That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's all. Shout out to sisters everywhere, and shout outs to our frontline workers or whatever part she's doing.
Actually, my brother's a nurse too. Crazy enough. So the whole family picked the right or wrong time to be a nurse, I guess you could say.
So you just play music for them while they're, on their downtime so that they can relax.
Yeah, I definitely send them a lot of stuff too. I like to get their opinion on things, but yeah, they just have good ears for music.
Yeah. So do they, when they listen to your music and when your mom listens to your music, are they very critical, or do they just be like, oh, this is really good and whatever? Or do they really pick it apart? Like,
yeah, it really depends. Like I've definitely showed my family songs, and it's like a pretty good litmus test, I guess, because there's been times where I've shown songs to them and they were just like, this is bad. Like it's not. Okay. Yeah, so they will tell me if it's bad. I feel like I'm at a point now where I don't really send people or show people stuff that I'm kind of like, I don't know. I usually get pretty confident about it first and then want to see what's happening. So there hasn't been any moments recently that I sent a song and it was like, this is terrible, but that's happened.
This is horrible.
This is horrible. Yeah, why would you send anybody this? Yeah.
Please don't ever share this ever again. Well, I just, it's true.
They're like, move.
Just get another day job, okay, man?
Yeah.
Totally. If you weren't singing, what would you be doing, do you think?
Oh, I have no idea. I went to university for a year and just grinded it out, and I absolutely hated it, and I dropped out. The marks were fine, but it's just people. I always, when I was younger, I used to hear people say, which is actually hilarious now that I think about it. I used to hear people always say, like, it's not for me. They used to always say that. It's not for me. And I was like, yeah, but you wasted a bunch of money then if it's not for you when you're halfway through it. And then I went and I did that, and now I'm that person.
But it's not for me.
Yes, and I say, it wasn't for me. But I have no idea what I'd be doing, honestly. Probably just, I wouldn't mind being like a bartender or something. That seems fun. Other than that, I don't really know. When I was a kid, I thought I was going to be a plastic surgeon because I watched Nip Tuck a lot. And I thought, and then I was like, oh, cool, they're rich. That sounds fun. Man, it's so...
Your mom bought you operation. Here you go, Levi. Have fun.
Yeah. It's so funny how when you're younger, like, I just made a video about this and posted it. It's like, when you're younger, you really think... oh yeah, I'm just gonna go and do that, and then you get older and things start to be like, oh yeah, okay, there's a few things that I could probably do. That is if I even try. So
especially like a surgeon, you think about all the years at school and
15 years, I couldn't make it through too. It's like, what was I thinking?
And it's kind of like a good thing that you found out that you weren't good at something before you invested 15 years of your life into something and so much money, and then you're like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, the thing is too is like I don't know if everybody's like this, but for me, like I am so lazy if it's not something that I'm obsessive about. Like it's like I love doing music because I wake up and I think about it, and if I'm having a conversation, I do this like kind of ignorant thing where if somebody's talking to me and I have a melody, I'll be like, 1 second, like I have to interrupt because I'm afraid of losing it because what if, whatever. And when you notice that about yourself, you're like, okay, this is something I love. Whereas in class, like I could make the marks, but then at the end of the day, I was just so unhappy. So,
I know I'm kind of the same. Like I wasn't always in radio. Like, well, for my day job, I do cleaning and stuff like that. But but anyway, like when I started working at the other radio station, I just fell in love with it. And the only reason why I actually was working there was because my day job slowed down. And I was like, I need to find something else and whatever. And so I like was on Indeed and I'm searching through and I'm like, oh, here's a little radio position. Why not try it? It was more or less kind of like a college station. And anyway, but it was fun. And then I was like, this is so great. And then things got slow there. But anyway, everyone was like, hey, Carrie, you're so good at this and whatever, and why don't you just start your own? And I was like, okay.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
Especially in today's age, like we see a lot of the like for instance, even television, like the idea of a company just pumping a bunch of money into a set for like a sitcom and these things when there's like kids on TikTok making a joke, like that's why I know that app gets a lot of hate, but I love that app because it's like whether people like it or not, it is kind of the future because we realize that, especially now, is like we can't always rely on investing 30 minutes into a show when like we have other things to do. Sometimes if you want to laugh, you just want to see 15 seconds of something. Let's move on, And
it gets you creative too. Like it's not like, especially if it's a set show, like, well, these shows that we're on now with Just TV and Just FM that I do for Connected with Carrie, these shows are great because I interview a bunch of different people. It's not always artists. It's entrepreneurs and people that are kind of helping in our communities or just amazing stories that, people come to me and they're like, hey, you should interview so-and-so. And it's like, okay.
This is like a podcast though. In my mind, I see this kind of like that in a very positive way, because to me, that's kind of just long form conversation is my favorite thing. Like I would way rather listen to you interview somebody for 40 minutes than I would go and really do anything else entertainment wise, because I feel like I'm actually learning something, whether it's like a little bit of knowledge from, there's just something to learn out of it. Whereas I feel like, there's just other
more personal too. Like I really love hearing how people started their things or what journeys they're on, or just their little bit of information of like, not a textbook learning, but life lessons, you know what I mean? The street smarts, because that's like the thing. But I was going to go back to TikTok, just saying how I love it. It's so creative. Like I'm on there, but I hardly use it. I'm always, I'm just scrolling through everything and I'm sending it to friends because I'm laughing my ass off. And I'm like, oh, this is so funny, because they're being so creative. And then they get into like the whole, one fad of this and one fad of that. The whole Nelly one right now is just killing me. Like I'm just, but I love it because it shows just like that funny side of someone or that personal side, and something that someone might not want to share necessarily, like up on stage. Because when you're on stage performing, you are not necessarily Levi, you are that performer, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So you have an alternate type of a person up there, which a lot of people don't understand. It's true. Any performer, you're on stage, you are on stage, you are in that moment. Whereas, TikToks are fun and you can goof around and then you can kind of see like the latitude in there. And
you can really be yourself.
Yeah, and then people can comment and whatever. And that's also why, it's kind of almost relatable to my show. Whereas it's fun. You can come on, you can be yourself, because other radio stations that do this kind of stuff, it's very formal, very like, okay, I've got 10 questions. Where you're from, what's the city, what color do you like, whatever. It's like almost like a first date, and you're going, I've done this a million times over, and
and then it gets it's almost uncomfortable because then every answer needs to be perfect, or else I would be worried about like, if I would have said this, maybe people would have thought this, and if you're just if you're talking all the time, you can get comfortable quicker. And the other thing about these like new apps, like I love Instagram, but I watched this video of this dude and he kind of explained how I felt really well. But there's something about Instagram where I don't feel like I can really be myself. I don't know what it is. I have some sort of like dignity. That's the word that this dude used. He said there's like a dignity to uphold on that app. I think it's because you're like, everybody and everybody. It's all photos. For the most part, I don't get a chance to really joke around. Or you're worried that if I joke around on that app, people are going to be like, yo, do you really mean this? And it's like, no, it's a joke. But TikTok is just like, you can joke around, say whatever you want. And like, if people don't like it, they'll let you know. But for the most part, it's people you don't know. And I love that.
Well, Instagram too, like I find, for me, my own personal Instagram, I actually started off, mine was just personal. It was like, okay, this is me, whatever. But then it ended up becoming more of my business one. Like, oh, maybe I'll just kind of make a new personal one or whatever down the road. But I kind of like, I look at it almost like a resume in a type for some people.
Definitely.
For artists too, like I said, it's your journey. So
Yep.
I can look at it and be like, okay, Levi started here. He was this little kid banging on his mom's drums one day, and then now he's like this
Yeah.
performer on stage, you know, opening up for Neon Dreams, and now he's under their record label. And I'm going, wow, like, and it wasn't that long. Like, it only took you a few years, and here you are. But I get that sense too of like, well, I want to kind of have my fun moments, but I don't want people to kind of see that fun, and it's like, but I think stories are pretty good for that. Like, you can kind of put
Stories are great for that.
fun things. So, but I think you have to be careful sometimes of, but I don't know. I'm one of those people, like, I don't know. Like, I like to be one of those people, like, don't let people just judge you. I think everyone's got their own journey, their own stories. And it's like, you know what? You want to think one way about me? Go ahead. You know?
Yeah. Especially if you're in, you know, this type of industry, you got to kind of quickly get over those type of things where like you need to let people in and let people know how you're feeling and what you're all about. Like if I'm super anxious or just feeling bad one day, then I'm just if I'm on a live, like I'll just talk about it because I know that a lot of the people that like my music, they don't like it just because of, you know, the melodies and stuff. It's a lot of the time because of what I'm talking about. I have a song called Night Terrors that I put out I think it was like a year ago now, but I just kind of there's content in there, and I try to do this with every song. Is like I want people to just be able to listen to it and have a good time, but I always want there to be something in there that if you dig into it, you're gonna if you're going through something, you might be able to get something out of it. Or I want to just make it's either for me that, or I just want to make a song that makes people happy. I used to make a lot of music that was very dark and kind of sad, and I was like, all right, well, you know, how did I like? What's the purpose? Like, am I making music that is going to make a kid feel better? And you can do that with sad music, but there has to be some sort of driving message or force behind that in order to do that. And if I'm just gonna be like, you know, you should be sad because it's cool. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the thing too. Is I think you have to be at a point where you understand music and what the message is. Because I think younger kids, they just listen to it and they want to kind of be like that person, right? So you have to be very careful of like what kind of music you're putting out for the younger generation, or being, you know, like on these types of platforms saying, well, okay, this is about my story when I was little. I was sad at this or whatever, but I'm here to represent and be a more positive influence, not how I used to be. And you have to kind of say it was my journey of growing, because some kids don't get that, you know, and it's important to realize like you don't want them going down a darker road too, but they might relate in some cases. But I do know a lot of artists that I have interviewed, they've kind of gone through that. They went through a period in their life where it was, you know, the whole changing of like, okay, well, I'm starting on this point of my journey and then I've gotten better and I decided, oh, I like this genre instead of this one. But they would talk about, you know, some of the stuff that was dark and depressing in their life, but it had to come from that place inside of like telling their story and being like, okay, I went through
I love that.
I went through this, but I came out as this. You know, it helped me through this time. So it's kind of the transitional type of a story, which I think is important for kids to learn. Okay, this is a dark time. And, you know, like we could just say, you know, our times right now, you know, right now, maybe it's a dark time for them. There's, you know, they can't go to school. They can't see their friends, but they pick up something else of like maybe doing a video journaling or something. And they can write a song about how, oh, well, I was stuck at home, but I got into this and then it became a more positive journey. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so totally. I think that's important. I wanted to kind of play your song here.
Sure.
I brought that up before we kind of end things.
Yeah.
So I just want to make sure that.
Is it Let It Go or is it the?
2 Lives.
Sure, yeah.
is the
Do
one
it.
you
It
sent.
hasn't been released
Okay.
yet, but it should be out in the next couple months. I've been working on it a lot.
Okay, so I'll play and then you can kind of let me know how it sounds on your end. And the producer you're watching too, Jesse, the radio station manager, let me know how it sounds too. If I need to turn it up or whatever, because we didn't have time to do this during the sound check. So hopefully, yeah. Oh, hang on a second. I'll go back to Dropbox here. Okay. Hopefully we can get this going as well. With all these technical issues, things sometimes don't work.
No worries.
Okay, we'll see. Hopefully.
I wish I had the actual full version of Let It Go on my thing here, but I don't know if I do.
Okay.
If I can find that, I can send you that. Here, let's do that. Just so that it's out and people can go check it out.
You know, you could play it off your phone on your end.
I could play it off my phone, actually.
Because mine's just buffering and whatever, because I think it's just.
And then you guys can let me know if I'm
Okay, let's do that.
Let's do it.
I know, and then the manager's like, make him sing.
Yeah, I don't have any instruments in my room, actually.
Yeah.
Just go a cappella, but that might be a little weird.
Well, it's teach their own, but.
All right.
Okay.
How's that sound?
I remember smoking cigarettes in 7th grade. I loved to play every part of a renegade. I knew a girl told her that I was a thief, so I went and stole her heart up in the very same week. Oh, they come with pitchforks trying to restore all the things they've done wrong. I'll never conform to the ways of a sheep. I'm a wolf and you know. They tell me that I'm crazy. This much I know. I've been on my own for long enough now to learn to let it go. They tell me that I'm lazy. Shit, I don't know. I've been in your head for long enough now to learn to let it go. I remember going to my homie's house and his father said get out cause I looked a little different, a little mischievous. Now it's all okay and my stomach feeling great cause I didn't drink the Kool-Aid. They come with pitchforks trying to restore all the things they've done wrong. I'll never conform to the ways of a sheep. I'm a wolf and you know. They tell me that I'm crazy. This much I know. I've been on my own for long enough now to learn to let it go. They tell me that I'm lazy. Shit, I don't know. I've been in your head for long enough now to learn to let it go. Keep your mouth shut, on your back up, he's the big fish. Shortstop, place a label. If you're unable to understand them, make a fable. You pointing the blame, I'll be in sheep's clothes. When you hit a new load, I'll be looking at me cause I'm running a repo. Whoa, how they tell me that I'm crazy. This much I know. I've been on my own for long enough now to learn to let it go. Whoa, how they tell me that I'm lazy. Shit, I don't know. I've been in your head for long enough now to learn to let it go.
There it is. I'll do that right now.
Let it go.
That was one of those songs where I kind of like, I just got home from a tour, and that's always when I got to write because the inspiration of just like seeing a bunch of new stuff is there. And I just started like in one go, I freestyled the verse melodies, the pre-chorus melodies, and the chorus melody. Just like I really like a thing that Paul McCartney said one time when he writes songs, he fills in random words and it doesn't really matter, and then he can just rewrite the song later. So I do that a lot when I'm writing now, and that just came out of nowhere, bang, and it's just like it's the best feeling when you get a song that you're really happy with, all kind of in like 10 minutes. Yeah,
right. I know. I hear those stories all the time. They're like, "Oh, I was on the road and I wrote it in like 5 minutes, just whatever to the concert." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, the
And
actual
you're like the best ones ever, and you're like, I love it.
It's so funny. It's like the writing of the songs in total of the. I have an album that I'm going to be releasing this year. It's looking like June, I believe, is when the record's going to come out. Haven't disclosed the title of it yet, but I'm really, really proud of it. We've kind of as a team been working on the record, just like production wise, for a while. It's completely produced by Corey LaRue, who does all of Neon's records with them, and he produces for REEE-PLAAAYYY, and I can't say enough good stuff about that guy. When I met him, I was obviously really nervous because this is, years ago. And
how did you meet him?
So I opened for Neon. When did I open for them? In Moncton or something. And at the time, my friend was in the band, and who still works with Neon. He just saw something about me that he liked. I think it was more just because me and him were really similar, and I think drive is really, really important. Like, if you have the drive to do something, I think, to me, that is equally as, if not more important than the actual talent, because you can, for the most part, you can teach yourself how to do a lot of these skills. Like, if you just keep writing songs, you're going to get better. And he ended up saying, like, well, come do a session with Corey and just see what happens. I started working with them, and he would put me up in his house and let me stay there, and it's just it's a great team. I'm really fortunate. But that's how I started working with them, and then it's just, we've made together probably like, I want to say like 60, 70 songs just for this album, and it's gonna be, I think, 10 tracks. Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty good. That's going to be awesome. And they're going to be all like mixed up, right? They're not going to be all one genre. They're going to be.
Yeah, honestly, like, it's weird because
you got to tell us a little bit here.
So the whole vibe, it's the concept is basically, just like, I wanted to do my first album. I wanted it to be like kind of it's like a snapshot of myself at that time. And it's really difficult to pick songs for it, because in one sense you want it to flow like an actual project, like you're reading a story, but you don't want it to get monotonous, because I can't stand when I'm listening to a record and it's just like sounds like a straight line the entire time. So I'm doing like, there's the closing track on the album is almost like a folk. It's like a folk pop kind of song. I would call it like alternative folk music, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Pop drums in it. Really odd way to describe it. The song that I just played is the first single on the album.
Yeah, and it's dope. I really like it. I really do.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And then I have some like hip hop-esque songs on there as well. So yeah, like you said, I'm gonna keep mixing it up, because I get bored very quickly if I don't.
Yeah, I know, I'm the same. I got to keep moving and keep doing a new project and keep, that's why, like I said, for my show, like, I need to have different people on. Otherwise, if I keep interviewing artists all the time, it's like, okay, well, how many other questions can I, ask somebody about their music, right?
Sure, yeah. No, you gotta keep mixing it up, and it keeps it interesting for you too. Like, I never want to get to a point where I'm making music and it just feels like, I came home off this last, we did a kind of a
bubble tour.
Yeah, we did a bubble tour. Yeah, I was looking for the word.
That's what I call it, a bubble tour.
It actually went very, very well.
I know, it was awesome. I was like, you guys are so amazing.
It is a little bit scary at first. I was kind of like, are we really doing this? But everything was safe, and we made sure that we did it the way that we should, and it kind of went off without a hitch. But when I got home, I was kind of like, I've finished this record. I know that we're gonna have to, we're gonna do the rollout, whatever. But I'm like, what am I gonna do next? Because I already know the direction and the sound of this album, and I was kind of going through that, classic writer's block. And then when I got home off this tour, I just wrote a whole new EP. So I already have that in the chamber for whenever I need to drop some more stuff.
Locked in there.
Yeah, in there. I'm
I love
excited.
it. I love when artists are just like, oh yeah, I've got like 30 songs just like on in
Yeah,
lock
they're
mode.
not all good. That's why they're not out, Some of
Yeah,
them are
yeah,
good, but some of
yeah.
them are very bad.
Yeah, well, from your last interview too, you said like, you wanted to make sure that they were good enough to be released and not just on
Yeah.
that, writing stage or whatever, which is
Yeah.
good. It's important because now you are upcoming and we need to
Right.
hear the best stuff from you, I think.
Yeah, you always want to make sure that what you're like putting your best foot forward, because I think respect is a really important thing, especially to musicians. Like, I want to have records that are just like super fun, or like you
Mhm.
can listen to them kind of when you're just like turning up with your friends. But I also want to make sure that I'm covering all bases, and I don't want it to just be one thing. I don't want every song to be like me trying to make a club record, and I don't want every song to be me
Yeah.
whining, for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a balance you got to keep for
Okay,
sure.
what about collaborations? Like, is there any kind of artist that you would actually love to do a collaboration with that you're like, well, I want to ask them, but I don't really know? And like, do you have anyone like on the
Honestly,
bucket list?
I really haven't even considered it. Weirdly enough, I have no collaborations on this album whatsoever. It's just me.
Yeah,
Eventually I'd love to do a track with Neon, but I think that's like I want to make sure that the thing about me is I always want to make sure that I'm going into the situation, especially if I'm going to do features. I want it to be like, all right, I have done the work to get to a place where neither of us need a feature. It's just that it's like a natural kind of thing that happens. I
yeah,
don't ever want to be like, oh, I need to get on this song so that it'll blow
yeah,
up. And it's like,
yeah,
if it's gonna happen, it'll happen. I feel like naturally, and I think it'll happen, um, just because of, like we were saying, just the consistent work. But there's a
yeah.
lot of artists. I mean, Canadian artists for sure. There's this guy named Alan Raymond that I'm a massive fan of, and he's really great. I don't even know what you would call his music. I guess it's alternative. And there's a lot of great artists that are coming out of Canada. So yeah,
Yeah.
there's a bunch of them.
Yeah, I for sure can see you doing something with Neon Dreams because I mean you guys are always together anyway.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's
yeah,
just kind of like
yeah.
I think you guys would just be like, I don't know, touring one day and you'll just be like, driving around and I think you guys would be like all just kind of spitting out something and then just something will
Yeah,
pop. Like I
and that
just
would
kind
be
of
the
see
best
that
case scenario.
happening.
It,
Yeah,
it it would be very much like, well, that's the thing. Like, we all usually are like sharing an Airbnb together or something for the most part. So
yeah,
there'll be times where I'm just recording because I just throw a sock over my mic and bring it on in my suitcase everywhere, and I have like an audio interface. It's just a small one, and
yeah.
I, no matter where we're at, like I'll be singing melodies, and then every once in a while I hear Frank be like, "That's sick, write it," like
Yeah.
from the upstairs. Very cool.
He's in the shower and you're out there singing
Yeah,
and
yeah. He just pops his head out. Hey, write it down. So yeah,
that's
I
good. It's
mean,
a good
you never know.
one.
Yeah.
I could see that. I could totally see that. Oh man. Well, Kate, is there another song that you want to play for us?
I don't know what else I got here. I'll do the next single.
Yeah.
Right, why not? Let me play it for you.
Yes. That would be amazing. And then we'll wrap up in a little bit.
Boom.
And those of you that are joining, thank you for coming in to Connected with Carrie, Season 2, Episode 4, with Mr. Amazing Levi Rowan.
Hello.
All the way from Newfoundland,
Close.
Labrador.
New Brunswick.
New Brunswick.
I do love Newfoundland though. I
Out
hope
that
I go
way.
back. Yeah, out
4
that way.
hours ahead, man.
Yeah.
It's almost
Yeah.
2. It is 2 o'clock your time. Oh.
It's only 1:13 now.
Oh, it's only 1:13. Okay.
Yeah, we would have just been starting anyway, so I'm okay.
Yeah. He's okay, kids. He's had his Red Bull.
I had my Red Bull. I'll be awake for another 6 hours. This song's called Two Lives. I was in where was I? I was doing the U.S. tour around the time that COVID started to kind of happen,
Yeah.
way back. And this was like at a time where I had been with somebody and it just kind of didn't work out And it was at the same time that I was like, everybody was like, all right, we're going to the States and we're going to California, and you have to shoot a music video and all of this stuff. And when I was a kid growing up, that was kind of, I grew up watching like shows like Californication is one of my favorite shows of all time. I don't know why. I love David Duchovny. I like X-Files too. He's great.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love NCIS LA.
Oh yeah, totally. But that was always like California for me when I was a kid, because I grew up like basically in the woods, super small town. I graduated with like 30 kids, and I always looked at Los Angeles as like, man, one day if I could get there, everything would be great. And I was kind of in that position where I was finally getting to go see these things. I know for some people that's just like a trip for them, but I didn't go on a lot of trips growing up or anything like that. So I was excited. Anyways, moral of the story is that basically in that time, if you're mentally dealing with stuff, it's like you're just so inside your own head that you almost miss the entire trip. So I wrote a song about that. And this is that.
Yo, what the hell is your problem? You're gone for a week and you're already acting like this. You're honestly pathetic. I can't deal with you right now. You're honestly so pathetic. I was in LA for like 2 nights. You took my life and never gave shit back. I was in my head for like 2 lives. Yeah, wait. Did you really like me? Well, I think it was all a pipe dream. Good time, movie of the century. Cut ties for a better ending. You can never change, I exonerate. Chasing the whole thing, not a thing. Got a problem with your face. Two-faced, I accommodate. I got a lot of space, yeah. Hey, I was in LA for like 2 nights. You took my life and never gave shit back. I was in my head for like 2 lies. I was in LA for like 2 nights. You took my life and never gave shit back. I was in my head for like 2 lies. A little fame can change a lot of things. A little distrust can erupt in a lot of pain. A little game, feeling petty, this a boatload full of ofos. You can never change, I exonerate. Chasing the whole thing, not a thing. Got a problem with your face. Two-faced, I accommodate. I got a lot of space, yeah. Hey, I was in LA for like 2 nights. You took my life and never gave shit back. I was in my head for like 2 lies. I was in LA for like 2 nights. You took my life and never gave shit back. I was in my head for like 2 lies. I was in LA for like 2 nights. You took my life and never gave shit back. I was in my head for like 2 lies. I was in LA for like 2 nights. You took my life and never gave shit back. I was in my head for like 2 lies. I was in LA for like 2 nights. You took my life and never gave shit back. I was in my head for like 2 lives.
Yeah.
I love that song.
Thank you.
I heard you play it on your other interview, and I was like, it reminds me of like Coldplay and just like
I love Coldplay.
like the punk, like the punk.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of the band Pretty Much?
Yes, I've heard of them. I haven't listened to a whole lot of their music though. They're good, eh?
Oh, yeah, they're really good. They're like a similar type of style, and it's just like they're fun. Like they're fun to listen to, just like that song. It's like it kind of gets you going and whatever.
Yeah.
And
well, that's I wanted to make a song, or at least I wanted to release a song next, because the Let It Go is like it's really fun and upbeat. But I was just talking about being younger and people kind of always pointing the finger and being like, hey, that's the bad kid who's doing this and that. And I didn't want to, I already told that. So I'm like, all right, let me drop something that's more at least relevant to me in the last year. And also kind of just make a song that people are going to be able to like listen to in their cars with their friends and be like, yeah,
Yeah, totally.
Those are a lot of my favorite songs, and I feel like I did it. So yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. I love the whole summer vibing type of a song where you're driving, windows are down, and all your friends are like,
yeah, totally,
drinking milkshakes or Slurpees or whatever, and just living it up. So yeah, I love that. I love what you're doing,
Thank you.
And I can't wait to see what else you come up with. And so, of course, I would love to have you come back on again in maybe a couple
I would
months.
love to be on. Yeah. I mean, even when the record drops, it'd be cool. I think,
Yeah.
if we can do that, that'd be great.
It'd be fun. And then I'll have you on my other platform too, which is Underground Radio C. And then you can steal some time on there and do whatever you want and play some
whatever
music,
you need.
do an album drop, whatever you want to do.
You were there when I was you were there when I was selling merch.
I know. He sold me this really shirt,
cool.
everyone.
Yeah. It's really cool. I like that, and it's always cool when people say like, "Hey, I remember you were selling merch." Like, that's crazy, and they'll see me at a show now doing. I mean, even the stage presence and the outfits, like the outfits that I have on stage, I just love kind of switching it up with each release. I plan on doing. Big reason why I'm such a massive fan of The Weeknd is like every album he comes with a new aura and he comes with a new kind of like storyline just with his clothing and stuff, and I love that. And I really love the 70s and the 60s era, so that's kind of what you're getting into if you see a show is like, I'm going to be acting very wild on stage, and I'm going to be wearing some pretty wild stuff. So if you're into
be careful. Yes, your mom was telling me that she's on wardrobe. So
yeah, she's got a really good eye for just picking out some wild stuff. And it's like sometimes I'm just like, where did you even? I have this jacket that has all these embroidered flowers on it, and it's like this super long, almost like it's like a long coat. Yeah. And I'm just like, where did you even find that? And she's just like, I don't remember.
She's like, I don't know. I can't tell you the story because I jacked it from someone's house.
Yeah. She robbed somebody outside of Valley Village. Yeah.
Well, maybe she did. She was probably out shopping one day, and she's like, "Oh, I'll pop into this little antique store." And
that's probably what happened. Yeah. I doubt my mom's living a double life as like a serial killer. I don't know, but you never know, I guess. Probably. Yeah.
Shout out to moms, though.
Shout out to serial killer moms everywhere.
Exactly. Okay, we're going to wrap up now. So thank you for coming on. You're amazing.
Thank you for having me.
I love all your work you're doing and all your, like, just seeing your whole journey so far is, I'm like, it's really cool to know you, honestly, and just being like, oh yeah, he sold me this shirt one day and now he's up on the stage, and I'll be hopefully signing, you'll sign one of your shirts for me one day. Hopefully.
Totally. I'm going to do merch for this album drop, I believe. I would love to go on tour. I don't know if that's going to happen, but either way, I'm going to make something.
Well, you can tour, you can tour virtually.
I think that's going to be the plan. Yeah, set up a bunch of cameras and make it like a really crazy experience.
Yeah.
Other than that, just to let people know, if you want to hear the music, you can check me out on Instagram. I post my music videos and stuff on there at levi.rowan. And other than that, Levi Rowan on YouTube if you want to see videos, and follow my TikTok. We'll get at it. Follow my TikTok. You'd see me make dirty jokes all day.
And then send him some information on some ideas for his TikToks and.
Yeah. And I'll steal your jokes too if you want to send me them.
That's perfect. You can do a joke book, or you should make a song on jokes or something. Might be interesting.
Doing a joke book would actually be awesome. I don't know if you know who Dimitri Martin is, but he's this comedian who wrote a book of like, it's just jokes, and they're all like they're like dad jokes, and I will just read through that constantly and laugh my head off.
Do it. Do it. So in the next year, I want a whole Levi dad jokes book or whatever.
I'm gonna make it happen. I'll start tonight.
Okay. If your mom is watching, I don't know if she's watching. She might be sleeping, but tell her.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame her.
No.
I wouldn't blame her if she was sleeping.
All her shopping sprays, she's tired.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Say hi to your mom for me too.
Shout out moms everywhere. Will do.
Yeah. Give her a big hug for me and tell her you're amazing, and tell her thank you for lending me to you for the evening too. That was friendly.
Sounds good.
Okay, have a great day. And
right,
thank you again for everyone tuning in as well. And we'll have you back soon. Levi, you're amazing.
Awesome.
Congratulations on your successes so far. And we will see you so soon. Have a great night.
All right.
Get some sleep. Enjoy.
Thanks.
Okay. Good night.